You possess high-level ambition and a clear vision of success. But when it is time to step across that line and begin the work, you find yourself completely frozen. Your mental energy is spent on grand architectures and perfect plans, while your physical reality remains stuck in a loop of constant delay. Labeling this as laziness misses the actual mechanics at play. This paralysis follows a predictable psychological pattern common among high achievers. Recognizing this inaction as a biological system, rather than a moral failure, provides a framework to dismantle the cycle and move forward. Your brain functions as a two-part machine. On one side is the visionary that builds goals. On the other is the primitive side, designed specifically to avoid physical exertion. You see this play out every morning. You plan to wake up early to work on a project, but the moment the alarm sounds, the primitive drive for comfort overrides your vision and you hit snooze. This negotiation repeats throughout the day. You decide to start a new habit, but quickly convince yourself to push the start date to Monday, resetting your progress back to zero. This daily defeat of the visionary mind by the biological mind creates a chronic state of invisible frustration. The brain's baseline operating system is evolutionarily wired to prioritize energy conservation, which means it will always prefer comfort over any form of exertion. This graph compares two types of rewards. Line A represents the instant dopamine hit from scrolling through a phone. Line B is the trajectory of a real goal, a long, demanding path of effort before any payoff is reached. When forced to choose, the nervous system defaults to the action that guarantees immediate pleasure in the present moment. This is the dopamine trap. When cheap, easy dopamine is readily available, the effort required for meaningful work feels biologically painful. Relying on natural impulses to guide your day ensures that your long-term potential is continuously sabotaged by your biological preference for the path of least resistance. In many cases, chronic inaction is fueled by a hidden fear of failure or inadequacy. This fear manifests as overthinking. You obsess over finding the perfect time, the right mood, or a flawless plan before you feel safe enough to begin. Demanding a perfect start ensures that you never have to face the physical reality of the work itself. Perfectionism serves as a defense mechanism, shielding the ego from the possibility of trying your hardest and still failing. This creates an identity conflict. You believe you are capable of greatness, but your lack of action generates a constant sense of self-doubt and guilt. We've seen this struggle mentioned frequently in the comments on our previous videos. It is a shared friction point for many ambitious people. To ease the guilt of inaction, we consume success stories and motivational content. This provides a temporary rush of productivity without requiring any physical work. That feeling of motivation is an illusion because it is completely detached from the physical reality of making measurable progress. This flowchart illustrates the inaction loop, an accelerating cycle of thinking, delaying, regretting, and repeating. Breaking this loop requires replacing fleeting motivation with the structural reliability of discipline. The most common mistake is waiting to feel motivated before acting. Escaping the loop requires abandoning your mood for strict, scheduled action. Defeating a biological drive for comfort doesn't require a total personality shift. It requires lowering the barrier of entry until the brain no longer perceives the task as a threat. Consistently committing to just 10 minutes of effort daily begins to recalibrate your baseline, making action easier than avoidance. Look at your own current habits. Which stage of this cycle, thinking, delaying, or regretting, do you struggle with the most? Let us know in the comments. Ambition without physical action remains nothing more than a dream. You don't need more motivation. You need agency over your daily actions. If this perspective was helpful, please like and subscribe for more deep dives. Thanks for watching.